It's official. Alex Pereira is moving to 205. He's announced it on his most recent YouTube video. That means that him and Jamahal Hill are likely next. Jamahal Hill wants it. Pereira wants it. They've been going at each other online. We have some other news as well. Brandon Moreno, Pantoja are announced for UFC 290, and Davidson Figueiredo and Manel Kape are also going to be added to that card. Leon Edwards rules out the prospect of him fighting in July. Him and Colby were supposed to go at it on the London card in July, but instead he wants Colby in Abu Dhabi. Apparently he wants more time, but let's just get to the first order of business. Pereira, unfinished business with Israel Adesanya. A lot of people want him to fight Izzy again in a trilogy. I've came out here and said, fuck that. The guy needs some time off. Everyone's saying 6 months. That's just ridiculous. He just got knocked out cold. He's 35 years old. He's going to be 36 this summer. Let the man take some time off. And with Yuri Prohaska out with one of the worst shoulder injuries in UFC history, according to the UFC doctors and Dana White, we might not see Yuri until next spring. So let's do Jamahal Hill and Alex Pereira, all right? And let's do it at the start of next year, maybe January, maybe December. If Alex Pereira really wants it, then I still think he should take a lot of time off, at least 8 months. The question is, how is his chin going to hold up in the light heavyweight division? The guy's fought at light heavyweight before in his career. He's won 2 belts in Glory, right? The first ever 2-division champ in Glory kickboxing. So he has experience fighting bigger guys. We know he has one-shot nuclear power, and we know he can knock out any guy in the 205-pound division. But is his chin an issue because of all the fights and the damage he's taken throughout his career in kickboxing? Because he's been cutting to 187 for his whole career in Glory. So the 185 weight cut doesn't seem to be anything new. Is he getting bigger? Is the weight cut getting harder? Of course, both of those play a part, right? He does deplete himself with the weight cut, but what if his chin just isn't all that great? What if he has that Robert Whittaker chin? Is he going to get KO'd by a guy like Jamahal Hill? Now, I've said Jamahal Hill isn't the hardest puncher at light heavyweight, but he does hit hard. He can crack. And he did impress a lot of us with his performance over Glover Teixeira. And there's already a good rivalry there because Alex Pereira was in Glover's corner. But how does he look against a guy in Alex Pereira who is a much higher level kickboxer, who is coming up a division? We know that when guys move up, they tend to be a little bit better than the guys above them, who also has the kiss of death in their hands. And Jamahal Hill, yes, he has a really good chin. He's tough as nails. Does he have the head movement like an Israel Adesanya? And I'm not talking about the Jeff Molina head movement of an Israel Adesanya. I'm just saying, can he move his head? That's one thing that Israel Adesanya had that I don't think Jamahal Hill necessarily has. Izzy, while I was watching his fights leading up to the Alex Pereira rematch, I was saying to myself, this is something that he's better at than Alex Pereira. He gets out of the way of shots. It's hard to land clean on Adesanya. And he's one of the best counter strikers in MMA. Jamahal Hill is more of an orthodox style, just your average, not your average kickboxer. He's a good kickboxer, but I haven't really seen him set up any traps. He's kind of just tough, and he's got some really good skill behind some of his shots. He impressed me with his kicks last time out against Glover Teixeira. He has power in his hands. He's got a long reach. He's tall, right? He can fight at a good range. The thing is, that's over Glover Teixeira, bro. And Glover Teixeira is not that good on the feet. Glover Teixeira had his ass kicked by Anthony Smith in the first 2 rounds. Anthony Smith looked like a world beater against Glover Teixeira on the feet. And Anthony Smith on the feet is nothing crazy. He's okay. And I think that Alex Pereira has a chance to just go up there and absolutely mog him, destroy him, out leg kick him, check his leg kicks, go to the body better than him, and have a rejuvenated chin. And I think that if there is a way for Alex Pereira to become another champion in another division, it's against Jamahal Hill. A guy like Jan Blachowicz, who has some of the best leg kicking defense in the UFC, who is really defensively sound, who has amazing head movement that can get out of the way of shots that's hard to pin down, who can also offensively grapple, that's a harder matchup. A guy like Magomed Ankalaev that can double leg Alex Pereira and take him down and dominate him and finish him on the ground early, that's a hard matchup. Jamahal Hill, he did impress us with his grappling in the Glover Teixeira fight, and if you're really good defensively, and if you can get Glover Teixeira off of you when he mounts you, which is his best position, then you got to have something offensively, right? Is he going to be shooting takedowns on Alex's, or is he going to stand and try to prove a point? Is he going to say to himself, this guy just got KO'd stiff. You know, what happens if I touch him? What happens if I land? I have more power than Adesanya. Maybe I can't counter him as well, but I have more power. and I have a long reach and I can touch the chin, Alex Pereira does get hit. What happens? He tends to struggle with the right hand. I think it really all depends on how quickly he takes this fight. If he takes this fight and it's like 4 months from now, like Tai Tuivasa getting KO'd by Cyril Gane and then bouncing back to fight Sergey Pavlovich 3 months later, I think that's a big mistake. If he takes this fight and it's going to be in December, then I like it a little bit more for Pereira. It's a very interesting fight. I think that the Pereira has a chance to become a champion at 205. I think it's a good move for him. Rejuvenate your chin. Adesanya wants to move up eventually, so that's another possibility in the future. Adesanya would like to get that one over him as well at 205. So I like the move. It's a really good announcement. I'm happy that he's moving. I just want him to take at least 8 months off after that KO. Manel, Kape, and Figueiredo at 290. I'm going with Davidson Figueiredo. There's a lot of good flyweight matchups on this card. We have a title fight, Pantoja and Moreno. Moreno and Yair, 2 Mexican champions, are going to be fighting on the card. I like to call Yair the fraud champ, even though his skills are amazing and he actually does have a chance to beat Volkanovski by a KO, considering how fast he is. He's a bit of a fraud. Moreno isn't. You guys get what I'm trying to say. But I love the fact that we have some really high-level flyweight fights. I feel like the flyweights don't get enough credit. When I actually watch guys like Brandon Moreno or Pantoja fight, I actually am looking at guys that are basically masters everywhere the fight goes, especially a guy like Brandon Moreno. The guy is extremely well-rounded, and he does not get enough credit for it. He does not. And I don't know why. I guess it's because people care less about the flyweight fights. There are less finishes. But if you just look at his ability to grapple, the scrambles that he had with Figueiredo, who's a high-level grappler, who's very dangerous on the ground as well, it's a telltale sign that this guy is extremely good, underrated. How is Figgy going to do against Manel Kape? Well, in my opinion, guys, Figueiredo is declining. He has a much harder time fighting the target at this point in his career. Yes, he has a lot of power, but he's not able to land as much as he used to be able to. He's not able to out-tough his opponents the way he used to be able to out-tough them. He's taken a lot of damage throughout his career, and to be honest, dude, he looked like a big puncher against Brandon Moreno last time, whereas if you look at their first fight and their third fight, he was just different. I think the man is declining. He's getting old. I thought he was going to move to bantamweight, and I think he's going to lose to Manel Kape. Unless he tries to offensively grapple, I think that's his only chance by submission, but I think Manel Kape's going to win, and I think Manel Kape's going to outstrike him or maybe even knock him out. All right, Leon Edwards is saying no to July. So as far as I'm concerned, we have a UK pay-per-view in July. I think this is a mistake from Leon Edwards. He says he wants more time to heal up. I mean, I can't speak for the man. If he has a serious injury, then I, of course, understand why he wants to take more time off, but you have another opportunity to fight in front of your home country with the home field advantage, with a sold-out stadium, with even more respect than you've ever had before against Colby Covington, a polarizing figure that is from the United States. USA versus the UK, that's a perfect matchup to have in your backyard. Why do you want it in Abu Dhabi? If he wants more time, it is what it is. I guess he wants to fight in Abu Dhabi. That would be absolutely sick. If him and Islam Makhachev are on the same card. The UFC never puts 2 really good title fights on the same card. They rarely do it. They're doing Volkanovski and Yair, which is an amazing title fight, but the last time we saw something like that was Volk and Izzy on the same card, and Izzy disappointed big time. But again, Leon Edwards and Colby, that's a big fight. To have it on the same card as Islam, though, another big star, especially in the Middle East, that would be amazing. So I wouldn't complain if that were the case. I think the UFC is going to probably try to spread it out. If anything, they'll probably do it in September or maybe even the MSG card. But I think Leon's making a bit of a mistake, man. If you can fight in July, you may as well do it, man. A quick turnaround. You're active. Colby isn't. You're giving Colby more time to prepare. I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, what do you guys think of the new announcements? Also, speaking of July, where the fuck is John Jones? What is going on with John Jones and Stipe? I'm going to make a video on that because I'm starting to feel as if John Jones and Stipe Miocic are going to have another 3-year saga with bullshit negotiations, and we're not going to see John Jones for another 2 years is what I'm starting to think. So I'm going to make a rant video on that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time. If you're still eating seed oil and soy-filled cookies like Oreos, you're just demolishing your health. So I'm gonna show you guys how to make some real cookies that are both healthy and delicious. We're gonna make my famous chocolate chip cookies. Combine 2 pasture-raised eggs with some grass-fed or raw butter, some good quality animal fats, add some organic vanilla extract,
and about a cup of raw honey. Now we're gonna mix it up and get ready for the most crucial ingredient, our einkorn wheat. This is the rawest, most original form of wheat. We're gonna add a half a banana to give these cookies a little more flavor. And just look at that beautiful cookie dough. We're gonna mix that up. And to top it off, of course, our chocolate chips. We're gonna use 100% organic cacao nibs, the most raw form of chocolate. Put this in the oven at 375 for 10 minutes and enjoy. These are the tastiest cookies I've ever had. And for more recipes like this, check out my Real Food Cookbook. You can find the link in my bio.